So, who died?
I don't know.
Rafty.
Do you want me to queue up something song wise?
No,
You got
I
some?
got this playing.
Okay.
Normal drop sounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first day, literally not much will happen, just because people are still in shock. TM.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is definitely difficult being the only person trying to do this because, well, imagine even though some people want to help, there isn't much they can do.
Right.
So basically, it's you, Lorne, trying to help all of these people, along with a bunch of crew members aboard the Glory Days trying to help the passengers, despite they themselves being fucked too.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those situations where it's the blind leading the blind,
Yeah.
and you can see, but you don't know where you're going. So it's definitely difficult on the first day.
But I'm doing
There's
my
also just
best.
a lot of hostility towards you in general,
Okay.
because these are the upper echelons of society. TM.
Mm-hmm. So is it hostility towards me because scavenger TM or drifter TM?
Scavenger TM, drifter TM, and religious person.
Okay.
Um, Despite that, there is still people who are, infinitologists.
Mm-hmm.
It is a widespread faith. And so there is definitely people on board, which for the first day, it's mostly you handling them because they're the only people who, well, respect what you're doing right at this moment.
Okay.
Um, Maybe 20 of the overarching, like passengers are unitologists from what you can tell. There might be, sorry, unitologists, infinitologists. Sorry, I was playing Dead
No, you're
Space,
good. You're good.
and there's a couple crew members which are also that. Like, so you got something to work with there. So that's mostly the first day. The second day, however, when some tempers have cooled down and people are realizing that despite y'all being vultures, there is more help on the way.
Mm-hmm.
All of that fun jazz. It is lifting morale, but you do have the wonderful joy of dealing with rich, snooty people
Oh boy.
and a couple, just crew members. And that's actually where we'll start off, where you are having to talk to a couple of the crew members, which are, well, it's might become an altercation, but I imagine Lauren's trying to make it not be an
Yeah.
altercation.
She's trying to
Where
keep
essentially,
everything like not down low, but like calm. Um,
where okay,
Trying to for people who are open and receptive to her to soothe and pacify. For people who are not receptive to her, like still attempting to, is it mollify? Um,
I got no idea.
she's just in general trying to um, soften everything.
Yeah, so which is where this altercation comes to, because you are the problem, Lauren.
Oh.
Yeah, one of the remaining officers upon the glory days,
Mm-hmm.
um, along with a couple other crew members, are have basically intercepted you while you're in the midst of going to another area upon the glory days. And the officer kind of looks towards you and says, I understand that you think you are trying to help people here, but your presence is causing disturbances amongst the remaining bits of my crew and the passengers on board here. I'm going to request that you leave.
Okay.
There's like 3 other people with him.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of nod their heads agree, and none of which, appear to be security. And despite this man looking like an officer, you've by this point probably spoken to a couple other officers,
Mm-hmm.
some of which might have been even infiniitologists. So this is quite literally news to you.
Right.
Yeah.
What is it of my presence that is most disturbing?
Your appearance is most disturbing.
Ah. I have to think about
We
this.
will escort you back to the connection that your ship has made so that you can remain there. We thank you for your efforts to assist, but it's no longer needed nor welcomed.
I am going to toss an empathy at all of them, actually. I'll do individual rolls for them. Because it
Uh,
could also be possible that this person's just being a mouthpiece and the others are just like, yeah, I'll go along with you. Give me a second. Do. Pachow for him. How many others are with him?
there is 3 others.
Okay. So, 1 for. Okay, so 5 for dude number
Yep.
2. 5 for dude number 3. And then there's 1 more, right?
Yep.
And 2 for dude number 4.
Okay. All right. So the main man you're unable to read. The other the other 3 you are able to read.
Okay.
So number 4. So you're getting the general vibe that there is like a little bit of disgust and just like not open hostility, but they don't like you, Lorne. There is no rhyme or reason to from what you can tell with just their appearance, their stance, but they're aggressive, and they are that's all of that, and they are displeased, and all of that's kind of like directed towards you. It's not so much that this officer's the mouthpiece as much as he's the one in charge of them, and so he's the one speaking. But they all seem to be in agreement.
Okay. And then, as far as I've been speaking to some of the other people, how high up in the chain of command are these people?
Um, you can roll a what would it be? 1 second. No, that's a wrong one. Chance. This is the right one. So that would be a brains administration
Ooh,
or brains know-how, specifically command
I do
structures.
not have either of those. So it's just icky brains or straight
Yep,
brains?
icky brains.
Oh
You don't get
no.
straight brains.
Oh no. Icky brains. 1.
All right, so with 1 success, you're able to. So you're not too sure, but you're pretty sure that the officer at least is mid-level officer,
Mm-hmm.
someone who has influence, but There's other officers present who that you think outrank him. There's none of his hall with you right now, but
Mm-hmm.
you think there's some that still outrank him because he is only mid-level.
Okay, and then out of the people who have been receptive to me, do I know if any of them were above this man station?
You're not too sure, but you know at least two of them are like equal to his rank.
Okay. And then, so there's 80 people roughly aboard, and you said there were
Yeah,
some people that were receptive to myself.
yeah. There's about 20 or so people who are receptive towards you, and then but in total maybe 30 people if I include the crew. But like most of the crew don't mind your presence.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the rich folk that really mind TM. But like I said, there's a couple of rich folk that just don't care
Mm-hmm.
or are even, supportive of you / receptive.
Yeah. Well, when something terrible like this happens, a friendly face is a friendly face. Hmm. They want to escort me out. This is day 2?
This is indeed day 2.
I did stop helping on day 2. Um, I am thinking she doesn't want to cause any stir of trouble if it is not necessary. I will attempt to. I don't have the words for it right now, but can I attempt to appeal to him in that that okay, because obviously she doesn't believe that the whole crew and everyone is unified in this opinion, because she knows they aren't, but she'll word it lightly, and so kind of appeal to that, I guess.
Well, you can certainly try.
I'll try to rhetoric here. What would that be?
That will be a clout rhetoric.
Okay. And since he obviously doesn't care about my sway, that's not accounted for, right?
No, that is not accounted for.
Okay. Hacha. Oh, that's only one.
Alrighty, so he is not swayed by your argument, but he does say, I am requesting that you leave this vessel. If you are invited back, things may be different, but at this moment, I don't need nor want you aboard of Glory Days 21. And he kind of like adjusts his, like one of his sleeves a bit. Kind of stands a little bit straighter, puffs up his chest a bit. Now we will be escorting you off.
Very well. Should either any of yourselves or the rest of those aboard require my assistance, do not hesitate to reach out.
I don't think that will be happening. And they will escort you off of Glory Days.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's an explanation. Now there's a double explanation for why Lord didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
The people. Yes, these are the people. Jordan. You knew what you were signing up for.
But she did a bunch of work on day 1, so
Yeah.
did as well as she
You
could, and then halfway through day 2 did what she could till they were like, get out.
get out. But yeah, day 3 does roll around, and there is messages. Well, it's kind of like when Rossi. So it's more like the messages were sent to Rossi, but they're for you. But you were sleeping, so no one told you until you woke up.
Mm-hmm.
But your presence is indeed requested back.
Then I shall return.
Yep. Um,
Is this okay? And placing this for day 3, is this before the feds show up, or during, or how is it?
So this is before the feds showed up,
Okay.
because this is why Lorne didn't go, because Lorne was tired.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
So you're able to head on back, and there is a single. Once you board, there is a officer who does. They have an extra bar on their shoulder, so you think that means they're a higher rank than the other person you were speaking to.
Okay.
And there's also a someone who is wearing kind of ragged security uniform. It looks like there might have been blood on it at some point, but it's been mostly cleaned up. But there's still like a slight stain there.
Mm-hmm.
And the officer begins by saying, "I'm sorry about your last interaction with one of my fellows. I just wanted to let you know that I certainly appreciate the work that you're trying to do." He kind of gives a bit of a smile. This is security officer Germaine, and she will be with you as a shadow, just to make sure that while you are trying to help people here, that no one gives you any problems. All right, sister?
Thank you, I appreciate it very much.
Nods his head. It is unacceptable for someone to treat an arbiter of the faith like that. Again, I thank you for your service, sister, but I will be having to depart. No rest for some of us. He says with a small but understanding smile of like, I'm sure you're going through the same shit.
Well, I mean, they're looking at each other, and I mean, even though she has to wear cogs, I assume they pump their gravity back to normal.
Yeah.
That like the bags are probably just prominent for both of them.
Yeah. He gestures to circuit off to Jeremiah, and she kind of nods her head, and she will kind of follow you around. Something that you do know is both of them do have little symbols of a faith just hanging from their necks. It looks like that normally those would get worn under the uniform.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they are doing that as you don't really know why you're doing it, but you kind of get that maybe as like a show of like solidarity.
Mm-hmm. Lorne appreciates it very much.
So the third day goes much better than the first and second.
Okay.
You do see the same officer from before, and him. There's a couple others that just noticeably like glare in your general direction, and even that their current security person who's there with you.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't say anything. Um, there's also much more receptive, well, rich folk, as the first day they were not in very good state of mind, but some of them actually even apologize for their attitudes towards you.
Oh, well, Lorne will very gracefully accept and then attend to any issues they have
All right, so
and offer like any tidbits of faith or advice or anything to help them along with whatever they're experiencing.
If you could roll me a clout, fast talk, and
I am going to willpower this.
you can add your sway to it.
Okay. Get my thing so I can.
Yep, you can add your sway.
Okay. Is this this is before our willpower got replenished, and I only had used one at that point, so I have this would be number 2 then. Okay, clout, fast talk plus sway.
Yep, plus sway.
Okay. Not rhetoric?
Not rhetoric.
Damn. Okay. Okay. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Willpower adds how many again?
Willpower adds 2 and rolls again.
Okay, so Pacha, and that's it. Just 3.
Okay, so most people who you're interacting with aren't going to you for matters of faith, TM,
Mm-hmm.
but a couple people which weren't present in the initial group do listen in when you host kind of like a mini sermon sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very much it looks appreciated that the members of the Church of Ontology which are present are very thankful that Lorne is present.
A
Um, and yeah, so the third day it's a lot of mental work, but at the same time it goes better than the first. A lot more people are supportive and understanding. You're not having to deal with any tomfoolery.
Mm-hmm.
So in that regards, it goes better.
Yeah, awesome.
Is there any interactions in particular that you might want to explore?
Um,
Or is just the general vibe good for you?
the general vibe works for me. If I think of anything else, I'll poke you.
Okay. But yeah. Um, Once news of the, you know, feds arriving in the system and getting closer, it is met with very good remarks. Like almost instantly, people's spirits are lifted up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the people who you were helping kind of stay with you till the feds show up, and they will do thank you quite gratefully. So Lauren definitely gets feel good that she did good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that thank her for her services, which is very nice.
I will thank my brothers and sisters for accompanying me and providing support.
Alrighty.
I will probably poke you for those names of at least some of the people who were more prevalent in assisting her.
Alrighty.
Mainly, 'cause you said the officer came up, so the head officer and the gal that was with her.
So
Basically, it's a Lauren will remember that, and if she can do them a good later on, she will.
those were those two people.
Okay.
But yeah, them and there was also like a good chunk of the crew respected what Lauren was doing, even if most of them weren't followers.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, Lauren was able to at least reach out to maybe 40 or 50 people.
That's a good chunk of people.
That is a good chunk out of like the 80 people.
That
That's
is at
pretty good.
least half of the ship that has been
Yeah.
quieted and helped.
Yeah. Which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Is just so tired.
So tired. So, when she gets back, then we're gonna have her. Let's see. I'm trying to think. She did take a nap in the workshop at one point, but I think that might be after she crawls into the engine room and onto the couch.
Okay. So you want to do the Trent one next?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. So the big man himself, he's hanging out doing his thing, working hard, comes back over, finds a lord on the couch.
It's not just a Lorne, like, she has taken some of the nest that she has created somewhere in the corner, dragged all those blankets over, and is cocooned on it.
Trent, right next to her, leans back and says, "Tough, tough past 2 days, Vera Lorne."
It has been very, very taxing.
Yeah, you look exhausted.
I am very tired, she says. I suppose that there was a pause before she answered because she was already half asleep. So, like, if he looks down, his one big eye has been creaked open to glance up at him.
Kind of chose a kind of a bad spot to take a nap.
I can sleep anywhere if I want to.
A dedication after my own heart, Vera Lorne.
She kind of like shoves her, what was it? It's like shoving your jaw forward and that kind of like little gremlin snoot.
Well, how was being a busy little beat over there?
There were difficulties I suppose I should have expected.
And while she's talking, like she'll kind of shuffle herself into an upright cocoon.
You don't need to, get up if it's too hard.
Oh, it's quite all right. I will just collapse after.
All right. Just make sure you collapse on the pillows, all right?
Yes.
Anyways, you were saying?
They were an interesting lot of people. And it's just a lot of people in general.
Yeah.
And I suppose I should have foreseen that some would have issues with not only with the faith, but with myself as well.
Kind of like purses his lips together, like, That's kind of awkward. Before he goes, some people, kind of just use power as a means to cope into.
Yes,
They can make someone else feel like shit, and they don't feel like shit.
yes, I suppose.
Not, that it's a good way to cope, but,
It is not. Acting that way, of course, just perpetuates a cycle.
yeah.
Thankfully, there were others that were able to override such voices. And I was
Well, that's
allowed
good to hear.
back aboard the ship.
You don't need to work yourself too hard, right? It's,
Lauren kind of is watching him as he's forming his words, but there's that look.
What look?
The look of, I know you don't always work as hard as you need to. The knowing look.
The knowing look of Trent. Not working super hard, but, giving it all's, good, but you don't want to give it all your all the time, because that just wears you down.
It does, but
Like, look at you.
I know. But it was necessary.
Suppose.
Others were not stepping up, and someone must.
Well, Do you at least feel that you accomplished something by doing it?
I do.
Well, then, end of the day, that's all that matters, though, I think.
Yes. Yes, I wish I could have reached out to more, but I will make do with those that I have assisted. And I hope that there is some form of peace for them.
Well, I'm sure you've started the healing process for them.
She nods along.
I think I have.
And she kind of pulls her legs up, and wraps her arms around him.
So I'm going to use your presence as an excuse to stop working for now.
Okay.
But no, just hang out, take the time you need, alright?
I will. I am thankful that the Federation has arrived. It will make things much easier,
Yeah.
at least on certain fronts. The ones I am concerned with.
She knows that it causes issues for other people, but hey.
Hey. Yeah, they'll be better at suited for handling the ship and all those people.
I'm gonna empathy Trent. Try to get a idea on where he is right now. When he says the ship and those people, like, kind of his general feel.
Trent's pretty, apathetic towards in that statement, like, kind of give a sense of, like, he's understanding of their circumstances, but he also kind of give a sense that he knows that Verasi cannot deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, like, that relief that Verasi isn't going to have to deal with it.
Lorne agrees. That was a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people and a lot of trauma that she's kind of holding on to right now.
Yeah. Thankfully, though, no one you were talking to went into major details.
Good.
So, no cold rules are necessary.
Oh, good. Speaking of, were there people that were cleaning up the sections then, or did they block off areas?
Those were blocked off.
Okay. Keep people out of those.
Because the Verasi crew blocked them off, and from what you could tell, the crew was enforcing those areas that were being blocked off.
Okay. Well, I suppose the bedrooms were actually fairly clean.
Yep.
So there is that.
And but most people were being kept in the hangar areas.
Mm-hmm.
Just because keeping everyone together in like a couple of areas is a lot better than having them spread out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Trent just will vibe with Lorne as he puts on his football, but keeps it muted. Lorne's able to, pass out to the ambient sounds of Arasi's engineering room.
Before she completely passes out,
Oh.
she will just very sleepily, like, peer at him and be like,
You don't have to keep it muted.
Well, if I don't keep it muted, I'm gonna wake you up by going, fuck, because I'll just get too into it.
Okay.
and then she starts dressing.
Alrighty.
And then he's probably locked in his spot because she fell asleep on him.
Yep. Lorne will awaken to a big, Trent arm just wrapped over on top,
Yay.
just for that added warmth of the big man.
Huzzah. The bestest uncle.
Yep.
Hey. Okay, I think that's that one.
Okay.